Didn't get to finish the book because my video ran out of time, so I'm going to finish it and then we'll do our lesson. But eventually everything was back the way it had been before, except for Lucy's father's second best tuba, which had sustained severe jam damage. So Lucy's father sold his second best tuba and bought a saxophone instead, which he had always wanted, and everything went back to normal. Until Lucy noticed something funny. She heard rustling and scratching and squeezings and creakings in the old house, and then, one night, she heard a noise that sounded exactly like an elephant, trying not to sneeze. She went and got her pig puppet. "Do you think I should tell the rest of them," she said, "that we have elephants living in the walls of our house?" "I'm sure they'll find out soon enough," said the pig puppet to Lucy. And they did. Okay, so let's talk about what made this book a fantasy story and what we know about fantasy stories already. So remember last week we talked about fairy tales and then we learned about some myths and legends. The number one thing about fantasy stories is they cannot happen in real life. Like, cannot. Okay, they can not happen, and often they have magical objects. Did our story have a magical object in it? I think it was pretty magical that wolves or animals could live inside the walls. It was magical that she could go inside the wall, so that's kind of magical. It says it's usually a made-up story. Let's see. I'm just kind of flipping through to make sure we hit all the... It cannot happen in the real world. Okay. If it's magical, it can't happen in the real world. And then they often reveal a lesson. They often reveal a lesson. So the biggest thing about fantasy stories that we want to remember is it cannot happen in real life. And usually they have like some kind of magical objects or something magic in it that could not ever happens. And then we also always learn a lesson from the book.